What's up, Internet? My name is Attack Slug, and welcome to my Raw reactions for the week of November the 30th, 2015. Let's talk about Monday Night Raw, and golly gee whiz willikers. There is certainly things to talk about. They kind of threw a lot of shit at the wall on this week's Monday Night Raw, and I don't know that necessarily all of it worked. So, if I sound kind of negative, I apologize, but this time of year, it seems like WWE just kind of goes into cruise control until they start their build for the Rumble. So they're kind of just letting guys do whatever because there's no real consequence to it. Because, hey, in like 2 weeks, it's the return of John Cena. So kind of who cares? So that being said, they opened the Raw with The New Day, continuing their year-long Jamboree, Jubilee, gala, anniversary deal. And man, I still this Raw had plenty of The New Day, and I am still a huge fan of The New Day, so I enjoyed that part of it. I thought them kind of sneaking, those guys, to me, it seems like they just do not give a fuck anymore. Like we're gonna do what we want to do, and if it gets us fired, who cares? So they kind of snuck in the Dragon Ball Z Fusion Dance. I'm sorry, the Dragon Ball GT Fusion Dance concerning things that were fucking obscure as hell. They got in a DBZ reference there on live TV. Not to mention, Xavier Woods has been doing the Final Fantasy Victory fanfare on his trombone. It's all fantastic. Anyway, that brings out Sheamus, who this made... They justified it later on commentary, but think of it this way. Why in the blue hell would Sheamus want anything to do with the New Day, the guys who abandoned him when he was on their team at Survivor Series? That shit makes no sense. It's dumb, and also Sheamus should have been wearing a white suit. That would look way cooler. Anyway, in the way the wrestling works, Sheamus is all on his Sheamus 515, says, "I just kicked your arse." And that was pretty good, in reference to Roman Reigns losing the belt in 5 minutes and 15 seconds. That's, a fun gimmick and a nice throwback reference, etc., etc. That for me works. What was a bit more in terms of things that doesn't work, Lana, why does all the managers throw chairs in the ring and be like, "No, I didn't do it"? So, Roman Reigns interrupts Sheamus' pyro celebration, punches him, takes his belt, leaves. That's fine. The usual cool face thing to do, that, has been done time and time again. However, after that segment, go to commercial, come back, backstage, Roman Reigns chilling with Dean Ambrose and the Usos, I got this belt, blah, blah, blah. First of all, Roman Reigns and his dumbass smile with holding the belt, that was terrible. Stop smiling. Be a badass. But no. They're backstage, and Triple H and Steph walk up and go, "No. Give us the belt back." And he gives them the belt back. If you're trying to be a badass face, if you're trying to follow in the footsteps of guys like Stone Cold Steve Austin, you're not just going to hand the belt back to the Authority. Would Stone Cold have handed the belt back to Vince McMahon? I don't fucking think so. Anyway, first match of the night, Tyler Breeze, Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler wins, because of course, now Tyler Breeze is stuck in the usual WWE 50-50 booking, where you just trade wins and losses, they don't actually matter, and they had a match, and I can't say much else about it, because it was a match. Well, whatever. Let's move on. Lana's back on TV. Despite supposedly having nuclear heat with the company, she's back on TV with Rusev, who came back last week, who is now, so I guess they're both healthy enough. Now, meanwhile, Lana had a wrist injury. That doesn't mean she can't be on TV. Put her in the Cowboy Bob Orton cast. I don't give a fuck. Anyway, they were on Miz TV, because apparently Miz TV is still a thing in 2015, and so is The Miz. The part of this that I enjoyed was the fact that they brought out Lana to her original music. Now, personally, if you had both Lana and Rusev off TV, should have just kept them off TV just long enough for them both to get healthy, bring them both back in their original roles, doing the old school, you know, what they came out with, Lana and Rusev thing, and just don't acknowledge anything else that happened before they both got hurt. Just reboot the whole fucking thing, I would have been fine with that. But instead, we had to address all this stuff, and we have to address it in the most PG manner possible, which is we didn't go all the way. And God bless this crowd for chanting, "Yes, you did," because that saved this fucking segment. Rusev still pretty much manages to spin gold out of shit with whatever they give him, so Rusev, keep doing what you're doing. But they start making out because why not? Out comes the big guy. Here's Ryback. And apparently, according to Ryback, everyone here believes in Smash Mouth. And I don't know about you, but I hate that fucking All-Star song, so fuck that. Anyway, Ryback versus Rusev was the match, which apparently was already a scheduled match. He wasn't really interrupting anything because they were already scheduled to have a match. But Lana she was next to the steps, and he got thrown into the steps and got hurt. And then Rusev took a count-out loss to Ryback because he was tending to Lana, because that was more important than the match. And I'm not sure how that makes him a bad guy. Like, he's going to attend to his fiancée because she was hurt. Like, that doesn't make him... Like, you shouldn't boo that. Like, I don't understand what the point of that was. Are we going to be stuck in this Rusev and Ryback feud? Or is it going to be Rusev and The Miz? Or is he even involved in this feud? Is it going to be another weird triple threat? I don't know. Like I said, it's the end of the year. WWE does not give a shit. They're just kind of screwing around until, you know, we start the build for the Rumble. So, that's fine. Anyway, next segment, out come those damn Dudleys with some tables. They're in the ring. They have a table with a name on it for each of the Wyatts. Out come the Wyatts. They do their little promo thing. And as expected, you would have thought eventually the Dudleys would have got a third guy. Now, for anyone who's paid any attention to things that have been going on in the wrestling business would know, storyline-wise, you would not get Spike Dudley because he's a little tiny guy and you're fighting big dudes, right? Kayfabe-wise, or realistically, you're not going to get Spike Dudley because he's like in his 50s and he's a financial planner now. He's not a wrestler anymore. So, that's out. So instead, they bring back what I thought was actually pretty unlikely, Tommy Dreamer, who has his own federation called the House of Hardcore, and I can't imagine the guys who work for House of Hardcore being too pleased. They were like, "Hey Tommy, here's some money, come back." He's like, "Fuck yeah!" Now, in kayfabe, Tommy Dreamer was always the ultimate underdog, the guy who could never win. So really, the Dudleys are gonna enlist Tommy Dreamer, the guy who could never get the job done and win, as your third guy to fight the Wyatts. Now, granted, the Wyatts are one of the most ineffectual factions in WWE history. They're the Spirit Squad with beards. But, that's still, like, you could have got RVD. Now, granted, you might not be able to get RVD because he might be somewhere else smoking weed. But my point is, if you're going with an old school ECW guy, I don't know that Tommy Dreamer, obviously he's one of the most recognizable. But, you know, in terms of kayfabe, in terms of his win-loss record, no, he's not who you want to... Like, that's like, hey, we're gonna build a faction and include Wade Barrett, the guy who can't win a goddamn match to save his life, the guy who couldn't fucking beat R-Truth. We're gonna get Wade Barrett. Like, what? Anyway. Next match was Goldust versus Alberto Del Rio, which started with a promo from Zeb Coulter, and I swear to God, all this Zeb Coulter haters stuff comes from the fact that Vince McMahon just learned the word haters. That is the only valid explanation for this, is that Vince just learned that word, and he thinks it's hilarious. Anyway, Del Rio fought Goldust and won, and his finisher still takes so fucking long to set up that double stomp finisher, and it's dumb. So, after the match, he put on the cross-arm bar, or the cross-arm lock breaker, whatever, and that breaks out Swagger, who gets a chair. I think he got a chair. Maybe that was SmackDown. I don't know. That brought out Swagger, who came out and did, you know, the We the People, and hey, Zeb, how come you're not racist? And whatever else. That feud still makes no sense. I'm hoping, because Del Rio is now in the League of Nations, that they're going to kind of drop the whole Mex America thing. I'm hoping. Anyway. Oh, right. I totally skipped the fact that we had the Dudleys and Dreamer fought the Wyatts, and that went to a no contest after everyone got in the ring and just started to fight. And they put Bray Wyatt through a table ass first, and that was, that was that. So, I'm sorry, I kind of got things out of order here. It was kind of such a nothing thing, and obviously they're going to fight at TLC in a tables match, clearly. Something like that. So, moving on, there was a backstage thing that set up Becky Lynch versus Charlotte in a friendly match later on this evening, and believe me, I'll get to that. And once again, Ric Flair in the building. Woo! So, the next match was the #1 contenders match for the tag team titles. It was the Lucha Dragons versus the Usos, and it had the New Day on commentary. And because the New Day are heels, they interrupted that match and caused a double disqualification so that nobody won. And honestly, the highlight of that whole thing, obviously besides the fact that they had the New Day on commentary and Big E had JBL's hat, and that was fantastic, was that because we all know how blind referees are in the WWE, when they went in to cause the DQ, Xavier was like, "Hey ref, watch!" Because obviously you got to get the ref's attention. It's like little things like that. I enjoy. Anyway, basically the authority said, "Hey, we're gonna have a triple threat at TLC." Now, over the course of the evening, we've set up the fact that we are having a world title match tonight on Raw, but Roman Reigns, what are you doing? The 5-star frog splash? Really? What? Roman Reigns is fighting Sheamus for the world title, but he has to beat him in under 5:15, and if he does not win, then he won't get his shot at TLC, Ambrose won't get his IC shot at TLC, and the Usos won't get their tag title shot at TLC. So Roman Reigns has to win. That is the setup, right? So we'll get to that. Ryback just fucking going nuts here. Buckle bomb. The next match was Sasha Banks versus Brie Bella. And if anyone can make Brie Bella look like a competent wrestler, it'd be Sasha Banks. Now, my complaint with the two Divas matches this evening was that they both ended in the same kind of finish. They both ended with a distraction finish. Like, if you're going to have two Divas matches, don't have them have the same kind of ending. That's stupid. Not only is that stupid, count ref, didn't work. Not only is that stupid, you're telling me that Sasha Banks needs a distraction finish to beat Brie Bella? Really? Come on now. So yes, Sasha Banks wins. That's fine. So, this moves on to Roman Reigns versus Sheamus for the World Heavyweight title. Sheamus holds the belt up upside down because, okay, he's the motherfucking champion. This ended in a disqualification, which, look, if your goal to make Roman Reigns look strong is that we should believe that Roman Reigns can defeat Sheamus in under 5:15, how weak does that make your champion Sheamus look? In fact, he needs Rusev and Barrett and Del Rio to cause a DQ. Now, clearly, that makes all those guys who had those title shots on the line, they'll get those shots now. So you're saying that Sheamus couldn't just make it 5:15 and then nobody would get their shots at TLC? Like, the authority, the things that they set up with the authority are so convoluted and stupid. Like, all I'm asking for is things to make a little bit of logical consistency. Is all I'm asking for. So, again, making Roman Reigns look strong, make him look strong. So, moving on. First of all, that should have been the main event. You should have ended the show with that, right? That should have been ended the show. But because we're in this fucking December freefall, who cares? We kind of take our story that could have gone over a couple of weeks and have it all happen in the same night. And holla holla, the main event is going to be 4-on-4. It ended up being 7-on-4. I'll get to that. Next match was Charlotte and Becky Lynch, their friendly pinky swear, whatever else, had a distraction finish when Charlotte faked a leg injury. Ric Flair got on the apron, and then she got rolled up, and Charlotte won the match. So, I think this actually introduces some interesting character development for Charlotte and Becky Lynch and Paige. Because obviously Charlotte is the daughter of the Nature Boy, the dirtiest player in the game. Like, that's in her blood, you know? So, having Becky trust her and then get screwed over, that makes more sense than having every diva be jealous, you know? Like, it puts more wrinkles into the story, and I can enjoy that. So hopefully that actually goes somewhere, and they don't just, you know, forget about it next week. Adam Rose apparently is, now that they've fired Brad Maddox, and then that tag team isn't happening anymore, now Adam Rose is roasting guys, and I've seen that before. It was on Grimm's Toy Show. And that kind of, you know, that was a little weird video thing. I feel like if that Rosebush stuff gets him over, it's going to be the same result as Wade Barrett delivering bad news and getting himself over, and then they just fucking squash it because he's supposed to be a heel. Right? Right? Anyway, my personal highlight of this whole damn show, outside of the New Day being awesome and doing the fucking Dragon Ball fusion dance, Stardust and Titus O'Neil. If I could have 3 hours... Recount. If I could have 3 hours of Stardust and Titus O'Neil interacting, I would take that over most Raws, most weeks. Because it is always hilarious. Anyway, main event was supposed to be the Usos, Ambrose, and Reigns versus the League of Nations. But we ended up having the League of Nations plus the New Day. So it was 7-on-4. Plenty of spots in here to make Roman Reigns look strong. You know, it was the average holla holla tag team match main event, kind of whatever. It's December, who cares? And then, obviously, it's the Dan Numbers game, and then they you know, beat him up, and the heels look strong at the end of the show. But hey, guess what? Who could Roman Reigns possibly get to help him out against this League of Nations that each and every guy in that League of Nations has been beaten down by a certain man? Who could that man be? Guess what? It's John Cena. And Del Rio just happens to be in that group, and guess what? Here comes John Cena to get his fucking belt back. So, that is where this all goes. It all goes back to the face that runs the place, John Cena. Anyway, that was Raw. I know I had a lot of complaints this week. I think that they featured a lot of guys that I like, you know? They featured guys that I want to see do well, and guys that deserve to be on TV every week. They just didn't feature them well, or in a way that has any kind of a logical consistency, which is all I'm looking for from wrestling. Just a little bit of logic. So that's going to do it. This one ran a bit long. There was a lot going on Raw this week. I'm a tax slug. This has been my Raw reaction. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time and every day for more videos right here on this channel. And I'm out.